Hello, all the CA Inter students. Today I have come up with complete discussion on the TDS chapter as applicable for CA Inter Jan 26 exams in a short time. What I observed from the students community when I speak with them, either they are overall reading it or completely leaving it because marks are 3-4 marks will come in exam. That too, sometimes it will come, sometimes it may not be. MCQs, so they are throwing them. So when the question comes in exam, maximum 2-3 marks will come or 4 marks sometimes will come. They are thinking that okay, we can leave for choice, 100 pages notes is there. But actually, whatever is required for the examination, that will not be more. So that point we are missing. So that's why this video is for all of you to complete entire TDS TCS chapter just in 1 hour, maybe less than that as well. So let's start with the TDS chapter. I prepared a summary document on entire TDS chapter, which makes you to crack any kind of examination question with ease. Once you listen to this, 1 hour time you spend on listening to this, and 1 hour whenever you find time, you do the illustrations given in my question bank or illustrations given in the study material. 1 hour, 1 hour, 2 hours. That's it. 5 marks. You will confidently go to the examination, which will boost your marks as well and your preparation as well. Okay, let's begin without any wastage of time. So point number 1, you can see first one, TDS on salary. Section number 192 speaks about TDS on salary. Who has an obligation to deduct? Right, see here, TDS means a tax deducted at source. Okay, tax deducted at source means what? Employer, when he pay to the employee, he will deduct the tax and then only he will pay him. Okay, now question will arise, sir, how the employer will know about what rate of tax is applicable for employee? Okay, so how he will know? It's a question. See, I am an employer, you are an employee, you are working with me, I will pay you salary or not. At that time I will know now what is your gross salary, what are your perquisites, what are the benefits that I am giving you. I will know everything or not. On that basis, will I know about your total income or not? Yes or no? So on that basis, see, employer will know whether there is a hike to you as an employee or not. Therefore, what they do, for example, my salary per month is 2 lakh. Okay, so 2 lakh into 12 means 24 lakh. 24 lakhs means under which slab it will fall? Under which slab it will? For example, I am going with the default tax regime. Default tax regime la up to 3 lakh, like that the slabs are given na. 3 lakh, 7 lakh, like that slabs are given or not? 7 to 10, 10 to 12, 12 to 15, like that. So under which slab you will fall, they will know or not. On that basis, they will apply TDS, they will deduct and they will pay you. For example, you are coming into, say example, you are coming into 10% tax slab or 15% slab. Then what they will do, while paying itself, they will deduct that percent and then they will pay you. This is question 1. So therefore, payer is an employer. Okay, payee is an employee. When you need to deduct the TDS? At the time of payment. At the time of payment. Okay, so when you are paying the employee, you should deduct TDS and then you have to pay. Next one, what is the rate at which we need to deduct? Amount of income, average income tax rate. Sir, what is average income tax rate? Sometimes employee's salary is subjected to change. Subjected to what? Change. Hike is proposed. Then they will calculate average rate, which will be calculated using a formula. Exam question also given on this, so mark it important. Amount of income tax divided by total income. Divided by total income means what? They will calculate entire income tax for him on the basis of estimated salary. Okay, divided by his total income. Average rate will come. On the basis of that average rate, they will deduct the TDS. Generally, they will take actual rates. Sometimes they will also take average rates. Okay, so summarize everything. Employer has an obligation to deduct TDS while paying to employee. At the time of payment, he should deduct, and average income tax rate they will make the deduction. Average income tax rate is amount of income tax divided by the total income. Estimation basis they will do. Year end, while filing return of income, plus or minus, they will get refund or excess payment. That's it. Okay. Other points. Employee should inform employer whether he is opting for default tax regime under 115 BAC or going for normal tax regime or not? Who should inform? Employee should inform employer. No intimation, default tax regime will be assumed by the employer. With effect from 110/2024, when I say with effect from 110/2024, those all are amendments very important for your exam. So with effect from 110/2024, employee, okay, should also inform employer about any other income. Any other income. Why? Employer, we don't know what incomes you are having. They will think that you are only having a salary income. You should only tell, please employer, while considering my income tax, for the purposes of calculation, also consider these incomes as well. Okay, if you consider also these incomes, okay, the rate may change. So therefore, any other income, if you have any, for example, I am having house property income, okay, tell that, such that he will calculate income tax accordingly. Okay, any TDS already deducted, okay, such that he will consider only the other part what to be deducted. See, already TDS is deducted on some incomes. If you tell, they will adjust TDS. Next, loss under the head IFHP, provided he opt out of 115 BAC. See, 115 BAC, if you opt out, means if you are going out of 115 BAC, if you opt out of 115 BAC, then only loss under the head IFHP. Okay, you need to give the details to him. If you are adopting to 115 BAC, this detail you need not give to employer. I repeat one more time. With effect from 110/2024, the obligation on employee is to provide the employer any other details of his income. If he is having any kind of other sources, tell him. If you are having any capital gain income, tell him, such that accordingly employer will prepare your return of income. Next, any other TDS already deducted on any other income, let him know. Okay, let him know. And finally, any loss under the head IFHP. Okay, when you are giving the details of income, loss details you need not give. But IFHP, if there is a loss, you inform, provided you are opting out of 115 BAC, means you are going out to the normal regime. Okay, so one point, what we discuss now, 192 TDS on salary, obligation is on employer. When you are paying to employee, at the time of payment, you need to deduct TDS. Average IT rate, employee should inform employer whether he is opting for default regime or he is opting out of default regime. Okay, if no intimation is given, we will assume that default tax regime is applicable for you. Next, employee should also inform the employer any other income or loss. Okay, sorry, any other income, not the loss. Okay, any TDS already done, and loss under the head IFHP, if any, you need to inform if you are opting out. Next one, tax on monetary perquisites. Tax on monetary perquisites. Listen carefully, I will tell you, it is very important discussion on this 194R. One amended TDS section also came. Enna section here? 194R, amended TDS provision. Okay, we will discuss. In the course of learning, we will discuss. So, tax on non-monetary perquisites. Employer agreed to pay tax to the extent of non-monetary perquisites. See, monetary perquisites means in monetary form, I will add to the salary and give. Non-monetary perquisites means car facility, etc. Okay, sometimes employee is a key employee of a company. He will tell to employer, okay, he will tell to employer, I will join your company if you give me the car facility. But whatever the value of that car perquisite, I will not pay the tax. If that condition you are okay, I will come as an employee. If employee is very important, management will accept it. They will tell, okay, sir, no problem. We will pay tax on that. We will pay tax on that. Means if your salary is a 5 lakh per month, car perquisite value is 20,000 per month. 5 lakh 20 is your real salary every month. But employee will pay salary tax only on 5 lakh. 20,000 tax is there, that employer will pay. But employer is paying what? Tax belonging to employee. Therefore, that will not be available for deduction under section 40. Okay, they are not allowed, they are disallowed. So, if employer pays the taxes relating to the perquisites given to the employee, that tax expenditure borne by employer on behalf of employee is not allowable deduction for him, and that tax amount will not be treated as income also for the employee. So employer agreed to pay the tax to the extent of non-monetary perquisite. So you will calculate anyway an average rate. That average rate you apply on the aggregate salary income. Aggregate salary income. Payment made every month along with the TDS on salary. Along with the TDS on salary means on salary, employee will pay the tax. On the non-monetary perquisites portion, employer will pay the tax at the average rate. At what rate? Average rate. On this, in your ISM, there is a illustration. Please do that to have a full clarity. Okay. Provision I am explaining. Exactly, you need to spend 5 minutes time on that illustration. Like that, 5-6 illustration. That's why I said 1 hour for the lecture, 1 hour for the question and answers you need to do from the textbook. That's it. You become an expert in TDS. 5 marks out of 5 marks you will get in exam. Okay. So let's begin. So tax for non-monetary perks. Employer agreed to pay the tax to the extent of non-monetary perquisites. First calculate an average rate. Average rate means income tax divided by total income. Estimated basis. Average rate will come. That average rate into perquisites value. 20,000 you are giving na 20,000 into 12. 2,40,000. 2,40,000 into that average rate. That part of tax employer will pay. Balance 5 lakh into 12, 60 lakhs into that particular rate employee will pay. Okay. No such agreement. There is no agreement. Employee did not agree anything. Non-monetary perquisites value also will be added to the salary. TDS will be deducted from the employee only. So employee will bear the tax. Next. Section number 193. See. Payer, payee, time, rate, other points. See here. What is 193? Interest on securities. Next one. Interest on securities. So if you invest in any debentures, bonds, etc., you are getting interest on that. Okay. Company will be paying you. Okay. So how it will be? Who will deduct? Any person, whoever is paying you that interest on that security, they will deduct it. If company will deduct. Pay to whom? Paying to resident. Resident get this provision applicable. Non-resident separate tax regime final, not for inter. So forget about it. So any person whoever is paying that particular interest on securities, they have to deduct. Okay. Next, to whom they are paying? Any resident person. Okay. Next, any. When I say any, it can be individual, HUF firm, any person. Next, what is the rate of TDS you need to deduct? Not average rate. From here, rates you need to remember. Okay. So what is the rate? 10%. So when you are paying the interest to on securities, if a company is paying me debenture interest, they have to deduct 10% TDS and then only they have to pay me. Okay. So 10% is the deduction. But one point you need to understand. If the total interest paid by this person to him during that particular year, 1 year, is not exceeding 5,000, then deduction is not required. Deduction is not required. Next one. No TDS if paid to insurance company, means if the recipient is insurance company, or if paid on government securities, then it is not required. So government securities and payment made to insurance company, no what? No TDS deduction is required. You can pay totally. Next one. 194. Dividend, very important adjustment again. 194 is a dividend. What is this talking about? Any domestic company, not foreign company, paying to the shareholder who is a resident, then 10% they have to deduct the tax on dividend and then they have to pay. Simply to tell, TDS on dividend will be 10%. If I have to get 1 lakh rupee, they will pay only 90,000. TDS will be deducted for 10,000. Okay. Next, no TDS if dividend paid. No TDS if dividend paid to insurance company or individual other than in cash not exceeding 10,000 per annum. Sir, I did not understand the second one. Let me explain. Normally, if a domestic company is paying a dividend to any shareholder who is a resident, 10% TDS has to be made. However, if the same payment is made to insurance company, TDS deduction not required. If the same payment is made to an individual, okay, individual, other than in cash, means you are not paying in cash. Okay, not exceeding 10,000 means you are paying 7,000 dividend, 8,000 dividend per annum, 9,000 dividend, etc. Then deduction is not required. Means TDS is exempted till the dividend amount reaches 10,000. Up to 10,000 no tax. After 10,000 you have to deduct and pay. Next, 194A, interest on any kind of investment other than 193, means bank deposit interest, FD interest, recurring deposit interest, these interest. Any person, whoever is paying, bank, financial institution, lender, anyone, paying to a resident, Okay, what they are paying? Interest they are paying. On security, other than security, other than security. How much they have to deduct? 10% TDS also on this. So what you have to do after completing my session, write down all the section numbers which are having a common TDS rate. Then you will easily remember. So 10%, 10%, 10%. Seri. Next, very important is this content. On this they will ask questions in exam. Already study material question is there on this. See, I am writing these notes as a summary which is applicable for exam. This is not a joker summary. This is a serious summary. Means these are all the core points which is the test in exam once you go to exam hall. So if you do not listen, that is not my mistake. Same questions will come in exam. So be very careful while listening itself. Okay. Note it. See, I am paying interest. Okay. Payer. Any person is paying. To whom? Any resident. How much? TDS is 10%. No TDS if paid by bank or cooperative society. Just a minute. Okay. So no TDS if dividend is paid to insurance company. Oh, sorry. No TDS if it is paid by bank or a cooperative society. Bank or a cooperative society or cooperative bank. Cooperative society means here a cooperative society being a bank. So TDS is not required to be deducted if it is paid by, not paid to, paid by a bank. Okay. Next, cooperative bank or post office up to what extent? If it is a senior citizen, up to rupees 50,000 per annum, TDS not required to be deducted per annum, not per payment, per annum. Next one, others up to 40,000. Both these are amended now, amended for the next exam, May 2026. TDS chapter there are 12 amendments for May 2026. Okay, this is the only chapter where huge amendments have come. Whatever you are learning now, totally the numbers are, concept is same. Numbers are changing. If 50,000 made as 1 lakh, 40,000 made as another number, like that they are changing the numbers. Concept remains the same. Numbers are changing. Okay. So anyway, for your JAN exams, these are the rates. So payment made by any person to any resident, TDS is 10%. TDS is not required if the payment is made to a senior citizen by a bank or cooperative bank or by a post office and the amount is not exceeding 50,000. If it is a senior citizen, others is 40,000 per annum. No TDS if paid by others. Sir, I am not a bank, I am not a cooperative bank, I am not a post office. Then what will happen, sir? I am a company. I am not the bank, etc. I am a company. I accept deposits under Companies Act. On that I am making a payment. Then at that time, no TDS, okay, till 5,000 rupees per annum. Okay, next. Sir, I am having a bank account in multiple branches. Okay, I need to calculate per branch. See, the limits said are per branch. Limits said are per branch. Total aggregate of all the branches you need to consider. For example, I have deposit in Visakhapatnam branch, Chennai branch, Bengaluru branch. All three per branch you need to first consider. Aggregate them and then check whether it is exceeding 50,000, 40,000. Exam questions are there. Check the study material or my question bank also, anything. So per branch when you calculate, only if the bank follow core banking solution, CBS, they will give you this in the question. Okay. Next, no TDS on, very important, no TDS on interest on savings deposit, savings bank account. Interest paid by a firm to the partners because that is separately governed by 194T. So firm paying to the partner is not subjected to this section, is subjected to another section. Interest on tax refund. Interest on tax. Tax refund means on that you will deduct tax. So there is no TDS on that. Interest paid by cooperative bank. Interest paid by cooperative bank. Next, interest to its members. Interest paid by cooperative bank to its members or to any other cooperative society. Any other cooperative society. If the turnover exceeds 50 crore in the preceding financial year, TDS is required. In all other cases, TDS is not required. So sum up everything. There is a cooperative bank. That cooperative bank is paying interest to its members or to any other cooperative society, and that cooperative bank turnover is exceeding 50 crore. Turnover is exceeding 50 crore in the preceding financial year. TDS is required. If turnover is not exceeding 50 crore, TDS is not required. Okay. If TDS is required, then you need to see this provision for cooperative bank. So sum up everything. What is said in this 194A? 194A said, any person paying to any other resident any kind of interest other than on securities, 10% TDS has to be deducted, but no TDS is required to be deducted if it is paid by a bank or cooperative bank or a post office, where payment is made to a senior citizen up to rupees 50,000 per annum, others up to 40,000 per annum. Payment is made by any person other than bank or cooperative bank or a post office, then no TDS. If paid by others, it is 5,000 per annum. Next, per branch calculation will be taken if the bank follows CBS, core banking solution. No TDS on savings bank, firm to partner payment, tax refund, cooperative bank, provided that cooperative bank turnover in the preceding financial year does not exceed 50 crore. If it exceeds, TDS deduction mandatory. Next, 194A, obligation to individual or HUF. Sir, what is this? Hey, remember this point. I call this as individual HUF special point. Okay, for classroom discussion, I will call it individual or HUF, individual or HUF special point. This special point I will tell. Individual or HUF special point. Whenever I say this, now this provision only will apply. Okay, what they said is the payer is any person, and the any person individual or HUF is there. Okay, individual or HUF. TDS is required to be deducted. See here what they said. If the turnover of that business of that individual or HUF does not exceed 1 crore, or the gross receipts of the profession, gross receipts of, if it is business, not more than 1 crore. If it is a profession, not more than 50 lakhs in the preceding financial year, no TDS obligation. So when an individual and individual or HUF is not required to deduct TDS on interest other than on security, if his turnover, that individual or HUF's turnover from the business does not exceed 1 crore in the preceding financial year, gross receipts from the profession does not exceed 50 lakhs in the preceding financial year, no TDS obligation as such. Very, very important. 194A. Next, 194BA, winnings on online games. Winnings on online games. Any online gaming platform, okay, is paying money, this kind of what is a rummy circle. So many online platforms. I'm very poor at this online gaming. I never went into that, what to say, that addiction. But that need not be an addiction. People can also see normally as well. But I am not having any knowledge on online gaming. I know taxation on online gaming, what will happen. So any online gaming platform is paying to any person. So how much deduction? Flat 30% will be deducted. Okay. TDS deduction on withdrawal. Okay. Whenever, see, I will put some amount in a wallet. That wallet withdrawal will happen. Whenever withdrawal is happening, TDS will be deducted at the time of withdrawal. Okay, will be taken on withdrawal. On net winnings. Net winnings means I will put 100 rupee, I will lose 50 rupee, I will again gain 20 rupee. Finally, the balance is some amount. On that you are withdrawing, that amount is called as a net winnings. So whenever you are withdrawing from the net winnings, I will deduct TDS and pay you. So withdrawal time, TDS is deducted at the time of withdrawal on the net winnings. Okay, net winnings means what? Deposit the amount, lose some amount, gain some amount. Balance is called as a net winnings. That amount you will withdraw. At the time of withdrawal, I will deduct the tax and pay you. Who will deduct? Online gaming platform. Next, sir, some amount I did not withdraw. Sir, balance is there. At the end of financial year, whether you withdraw or not, on the balance also TDS will be deducted. No TDS on withdrawal if net winnings is not more than rupees 100 per month. For that, why you have to play the game? If the person beg on roads also, more than 100 will come. Sorry. Anyway, so the point is no TDS on withdrawal if the net winnings does not exceed rupees 100 per month. Next one, 194H, commission or brokerage. Okay, any person paying to any resident person. Okay, any resident person. So any person to any resident person, they are paying commission, brokerage, etc. Okay, 2% is the deduction with effect from 11024. In the question, if they give anything before 11024, 5% is the TDS rate on commission or brokerage. 11024 after, if the payment is being made, 2% is the rate of TDS. 11024 point will come in 4 TDS sections. Write them on a separate paper such that you will remember, okay, which sections that 110 point will come. Okay, next. To what extent exemption is there? Exempt up to rupees 50,000 per year. Exempt up to 15,000 per year. No obligation on the payer if he is an individual or HUF. Same. HUF and individual special point said that was also applicable here. So exempt up to, whether payee is an individual or HUF or any person, 15,000 per annum, if it is not exceeding, then no TDS on commission or brokerage you pay. So any person paying to any resident person, 2% after 11024, 5% before 11024. Next, up to 15,000 per year to that particular person, no TDS. Beyond that, TDS is required. No obligation on payer. If the payer is an individual or HF, his business income does not exceed 1 crore, same thing. Next, 194I, TDS on rent. TDS on rent. Any person paying to any resident person. Okay. Next, what is the rate of TDS? If the rent is taken for plant and machinery and equipment, where there is a long amount of depreciation already, 2% is the TDS rate. Sir, it is for a land and building, furniture or any other decorative items, 10% is the TDS. No TDS if the aggregate payment in the financial year does not exceed 2,40,000. So if the total amount of rent that you are paying does not exceed rupees 2,40,000, no need to deduct any kind of TDS. Next, no TDS. Okay, no TDS if the lump sum lease premium paid for acquisition of long-term lease. So lump sum lease premium I paid. Okay, lump sum lease premium I paid. At that time, no TDS because it's a capital in nature. So lump sum lease premium paid for acquisition of long-term lease, TDS not required. Mark this, very important. Hey, every line I have written here is important because this is the summary of the entire essence of TDS. Again, don't re-summarize this material. You will be gone. Payment for use of mobile towers. Okay. On the building, mobile towers ki rental will be paid na 2% under section 194I. 194C and not 194I means what? This will not get attracted. 194C also brokerage and commission you will pay. But brokerage and commission there you will pay for works contract. This is for general brokerage and commission. Okay, general brokerage or commission. For example, I am in Chennai. I want to start my business in Hyderabad. I kept one agent. I am paying him commission. This will get attracted. Okay, I wanted to construct a building. For that building, I kept a contractor who will be acting on behalf of me. Then that will come under 194C. 194C will be applicable only when there is a works contract. Which contract? Works contract, not general contracts. Okay. So in the following three cases, 194I will not apply, 194C will apply. So 194C and not 194I in the following cases. Landing and parking charges paid by airline company to airport authority. Okay. So whenever landing or parking charges paid by airline company to airport authority, okay, deduction will be made under 194C, not under 194I. 194C we will see. See here it is. Next, payment to contractors for hiring vehicles, 194C. Payment to cold storage owners, 194C. 194C. In that case also you will pay the contractors, but that will come under works contract under 194C, not under 194I. 194I is a rent. Okay, 194I is the rent. Next, so commission, brokerage already we read. Rental we have read now. So whenever landing and parking charges you paid, whenever landing or parking charges you pay, that will be treated as a rental only, but not deducted under rental, deducted under contract under 194C. Okay. So next, payment to the contractors for hiring the vehicles. Even in this case, TDS on rent will not get attracted. 194I will not get attracted. 194C will get attracted. Any kind of payment made to cold storage owners, it's a works contract. Again, 194C, not 194I. So H also I said general brokerage. Okay. Next, 194C. Very, very important category. This is one among. So the most important one is 194C. See, there are all are important, but most hit list 2 sections or 3 sections will be there. In that 194C is one among 194J. 194J. And the latest one point came, TDS on cash withdrawals. Very, very important. 194N. Okay, when we come there, I will discuss. Okay, 194C. Any person is paying to any other resident person. See, general agency, brokerage, all these things, na 194H. Okay, whenever there is a contracting business, there is a works contract. There is a works contract. So see here. So 194C, any person making any payment to any other person. Okay. So simply to tell, any kind of contract is going on a works contract, okay, any kind of works contract is going on that if one person is making payment to some other person, then this 194C will get attracted. Okay, if we are paying to some other person, okay, for example, I am going to construct a house, for that I appointed one contractor to do on my behalf. Okay, this is works contract. Any person making payment to any other resident person. Okay, if the contractor to whom you are paying, if he is an individual or HUF, then 1% is the TDS rate. Any other person, 2%. Next, no TDS is required if the payment made, one payment, the single contract payment you are making does not exceed 30,000. So what people started doing, they are making payment 29,999, like that MRP prices they are paying. Government understood that and got another point now through amendment, and in one financial year the aggregate should not exceed 1 lakh. So if any of the conditions are satisfied, TDS deduction becomes mandatory on 194C. So under section 194C, any person making payment to any other resident person, any kind of payment on a contract basis, okay, on a particular contract as a commission or something like that, if they are making the payment, and if the contractor is an individual or HUF, 1% TDS, others are 2% TDS. Up to 30,000 per transaction not required, and if the overall aggregate payment made by this person to that person exceeds that 1 lakh in that aggregate in one financial year, from the next onwards TDS is required to be deducted. Next, applicable on due or payment basis. What do you mean by applicable on due or payment? Very, very important. See, I have made books record entry was given, payable, I have written, that's it. On recording in the books itself, you need to deduct the TDS. You need to deduct the TDS and deposit with the government. Whether you paid really to him or not is important. Due or payment, whichever is earlier. Due will come while you write the books of account. Payment will come when you actually make the payments. Whichever is earlier. On that basis, you need to deduct this. Next, contracting works attracts 194C. Normally, this will not get attracted. Normally, brokerage commission, if you pay na, 194H will get attracted. Okay, this is only for works contract. Advertisement, broadcasting and telecasting, okay, on that contract, catering contracts, transportation of goods or passengers other than railway. OT means other than railway. So transport of goods or passengers other than railway, transport contract. Next one, very, very important exam question. Manufacturer or supplier, okay, production as per the customer specification out of the material supplied by the customer. So what is this? Manufacturer or supply, manufacturing or supply, okay, of a product as per the customer specification out of the material supplied by the customer. Means what? Customer only gave me the product, raw material, everything. He said, I want like this. For example, I wanted to have a table. I only supplied wood. I only supplied material. Everything I only supplied. What you have done? Only labor you have involved on that. Work only you have involved. In that case, yes, that will come under 194C. Okay, that will come under 194C. If material is not supplied by the customer or by any related party of the customer, then material and labor is involved, then it will not become just a works contract, it will become more than that. So works contract ke 194C. If material is supplied by the customer, okay, for example, I supplied wood, I supplied raw material, I supplied everything. What you have done? Only work you have done on that. For that I am making a payment na, then works contract it will come, TDS will be deducted like this. No, sir, material also they only purchase. Then how can you call it only works contract? It's a mix of work with the material. Then this will not get attracted. Okay, so 194C will not get attracted. Contract includes a subcontract as well. If the payer is an individual or HUF, then same provision, 50 lakh, 1 crore, special provision will apply. Okay, very, very important is these four. No TDS under 194C if payment is to a transporter. Payment is to a transporter. And that a transporter does not own more than 10 vehicles at any time during the previous year, and he has given a PAN, and he also gave declaration that he does not own more than 10 vehicles. If all these conditions are satisfied, tell me, when TDS not required? Payment is to a transporter. He does not own more than 10 vehicles at any time during the previous year. He has given declaration that he has not owning more than 10, and PAN number also clearly quoted. If all these conditions are satisfied, you can pay without deduction of TDS. So when no TDS is required, this case, also this case. Next, no TDS, another case added. Payment of gas transportation charges by purchaser of natural gas to the seller. Purchase of natural gas to the seller. Okay, I will book a cylinder. That person will supply to me. For that, I will make a payment for bringing the cylinder from one place to another. At that time, when you make payment on the TDS is not required, because that will come under transportation charge, but that transportation does not come under this one. Okay, so LPG and natural gas, they excluded. Next one, services by event manager. Yes, it will attract. It's a works contract. You are doing a work on that. Next, job work. What is it? Job work. Sir, what is a job work? Just now, whatever the example I said is a classic example of a job work. Job work means what? I will be sending you, for example, furniture is there. What is there? Furniture is there. Previously, what I said, I will give you the goods, everything. Only you will do work on that. TDS is deducted. Job work means furniture I will manufacture. A table I will manufacture. I will send it to you for painting. I will send it to you for painting. So when you send it to you for painting, you will do painting work and again send me back. Means you are doing a particular job work on that particular goods. This is called as a job work. This is called as what? Job work. So whenever job work is there, now question will come, sir, paint is belonging to him, that person. Question will arise. That's why, see what they said. If there is a job work, material value separately mentioned, means what? How much is a paint value, how much is a labor charges, clearly given, then TDS on invoice value minus material. Material you remove, only on the work you added I will deduct. If TDS is, if in any other case, TDS on full invoice value I will do. Payment by TV channels to a very important exam question. Payment by TV channel to the production house for production of a program. Okay, there is a producer. To them, a TV channel is buying it. We are seeing Netflix is buying this product. Amazon Prime is buying this cinema. Like that, we are seeing they are paying TV channels and internet providers. So whenever they pay, program on as per the specification of TV channel, TDS is required. TDS is required. Program on specification of TV channel means what? Whenever I say, for example, I will tell on Sunday so and so date program should be telecasted. Control is with me. That means you are having ultimate control over that cinema. TDS will be deducted when you are paying the charges to the product producer of that movie. For example, let us say there is a movie. That movie rights I purchased. Who am I? Say for example, I am, to understand Sun Network. Okay, I purchased a cinema. For example, one cinema got released. That cinema rights I purchased. What rights? That depends on the agreement. When that movie should be playing on TV, I will only decide. Then you are having ultimate control over that product. Okay, they are doing only works on that. Okay, whenever you tell, they will telecast. For the producer, you are paying at the time TDS is required. So you have only rights on that product, but when to telecast is still there with them. In that case, no TDS is required when you pay. Remember this exam question. Next, 194C, very important I said. After that, what is the most important? 194J came. So both important things I kept at one place. 194J. What is this? 194J will be paid on professional services, technical services, non-compete agreement, director's remuneration. Whenever any professional service, CA, CMA, CS, all these professions, okay, payer, any person, individual HUF, same as per above. So any person, individual HUF ki 1 crore 50 lakhs point will apply. So then only required. Payee, any resident, rate, technical fee, royalty for cinema, payment to the call centers, 2% is the TDS rate. Remember, you are paying any technical fee or royalty for cinema. Means you will buy a cinema, you will pay royalty to that person. Okay, in that case, or payment to the call centers call center, see Airtel service centers, all these people, when you are making payment to them, 2% TDS. Any other case, 194J, 10%. For example, I am taking class in an academy. Okay, I'm taking class in an academy. I'm rendering professional service to them because I'm not their employee. Okay, they are not my employers. I will come, I will take a lecture for 30 days or 25 days and I will go back. Further, they will make a payment. TDS is deducted under 194J at the rate of 10%. Okay, because I'm not coming under technical fee, not royalty for cinema, not payment to call center. Any other professional service comes under 10%. All other cases 2%. Next one, exemption. Not exceeding 30,000 per year. Exemption do not apply in case of director's remuneration. Means if the payment made to Koushik Mukhesh by an institute is not exceeding 30,000 in a year, then no TDS is required. If it exceeds, full amount ki TDS has to be done. Exemption does not apply in case of director's remuneration. Means even if you are paying 25,000 to a director's remuneration, TDS is to be required to be deducted at the rate of 10%. What is professional service? Services specified under 44 AA, legal services, chartered accountant services, CA, CMA, doctor, all these will come under this. Sports activity services like umpiring, referee, coach, all these people will be there, etc. So many. Those all comes under professional. Technical services means what? Managerial services, MBA graduates, technical services, IITs, consultancy, legal consultancy, etc. Payment by third party administrator to hospitals on behalf of insurance company. So any other third party is paying to hospitals, okay, on behalf of insurance company, Transportation charges by member of recognized stock exchange. Sorry, I'm very, very sorry. Transaction charges. By mistake I said transportation because of the previous one. Okay. So transaction charges by member of recognized stock exchange. Members will be there inside the stock market. Those people will do services. Further, they will charge some amount for providing online trading facility like Zerodha, etc. Transaction charges by a member. Anything is there, TDS need not be deducted. This is 194J. Next section is 194M. 194M is a combination section of 194J and 194H as well. Okay, sir, what combination? H and J combination is M. Payment for contracts, commission on C also 194J, or for this 194C. Okay, so 194C in all these cases, and 194H already we read now. All these cases combined section. What combined? Already there are independent sections now. No, listen carefully. In those sections, individual or HUF, if their turnover is gross receipts or turnover for the preceding financial year, okay, is not exceeding 1 crore in case of business and 50 lakhs in case of profession. We already read now. If that is not exceeded, they are not required to deduct TDS. In this section, they are required. So payer is exempt under those sections. Exempt under those sections means what? Contract related 194C, commission brokerage under 194H, professional charges under 194J. There they are exempted because their gross turnover is gross receipts or turnover in the business not exceeding 1 crore, or for the profession not exceeding 50 lakh. Because of that, no TDS obligation under those sections. But total payments to be made exceeds 50 lakh per annum. Exceeds 50 lakh per annum means the total payment, see, individual or HF other than 194 C, H, J. C, H, J sections, they are exempted. Okay. If they are not exempted there, this section will not come. If they are exempted there, this section will come, provided the aggregate amount, whatever you have to pay, if it does not exceed 50 lakh, that section is exempted. This section also exempted for individuals and HF. But this is exceeded, the payments in an aggregate in a per annum, if it is not exceeding 50 lakh, exemption. Exceeds 50 lakh, 194M TDS deduction has to be made by the payer. So if the amount of payments per annum exceeds 50 lakh, okay, then you have to make the deduction. So what is the rate? 2% with effect from 110/24, 5% before 110/24. Next, 194N. Very, 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 very important for the Jan 26 exam. 99% I'm expecting this question to come. TDS on cash withdrawal. Sir, if you withdraw the cash also, TDS is there. See, payer, bank, cooperative bank, post office. You are withdrawing, they are paying you. Payee, any person. rate 2%, exempt up to 1 crore per annum, no problem. Beyond 1 crore, if you are withdrawing, there will be a TDS on that particular withdrawal. That means service provided on that TDS is there. TDS applicable only on amount in excess of 1 crore. Means, for example, I withdraw 1.5 crore. TDS is not on entire 1.5. Excess of 1 crore, whatever amount is there, TDS. If payee and a recipient has not furnished return of income for the 3 preceding previous years, okay, that means if the payee is defaulted in filing return of income, then this rule does not apply. Up to 20 lakh, no TDS withdrawal. But above 20 lakhs and not above 1 crore, 2% TDS will be made. Okay, above 1%, 5%. When normally above 1%, 2%. If you are a defaulter in filing, as a penalty, they added another 3%. But normally 1 crore, even if it is more than 20 but not more than 1 crore, I mean 30 lakhs also, TDS will be there if you are a defaulter. If payee is a cooperative society and the recipient is a cooperative society, replace 3 crore wherever there is 1 crore. Here also 3 crore will come. Here also 3 crore will come if it is a cooperative society. Next, section not applicable for banks, cooperative banks, post offices notified by RBI. This section does not apply. Means if the payer is notified once, this TDS obligation does not get attracted. Next, after that, these are all bunch of sections we have to study. Okay, so many are there, very easy. These are all one line answers. Okay, 194 B, BB, D, DA, G, and IA, K, LA, P, and Q. Okay, see here. List. That's it. 2 pages over. All sections I kept in one single chart. Read that properly, you are successful in exam, I guarantee. Next, 194D, insurance commission. Insurance commission. Who is paying? Insurance company. Separately. That's why insurance companies are outside the purview in the other sections. Separate sections are there for insurance premium. 194D, insurance commission. Who is paying? Insurance company. To whom? Any resident, being a agent. Being a agent. Next, rate. If that agent is a domestic company, then 10% or else 5%. Exempt. If that commission to that agent is not exceeding 15,000 per annum, TDS is not required. No other points. 194 DA, life insurance policy maturity amount. Insurance company is paying to any resident. Okay, not to the agent, any resident. Maturity value came, they are paying. With effect from 110/24, 2% on maturity amount minus total premium. Okay, maturity amount minus total premium means what you receive minus what you pay. The balance amount is there na. On that 2% will be the net amount you receive. See, I gave you premiums of 1 lakh. You gave me 5 lakh rupee. 4 lakh will be my amount in excess. On that payment, TDS will be attracted by 2%. Next. So when this is under 194 DA, life insurance policy maturity amount. When TDS is not required, if the total amount, this gap amount is there, maturity amount minus total premium, if it does not exceed 1 lakh in a year, no need to deduct any TDS. TDS only if maturity amount is taxable. Premium exceeds the limit under 1010D. 1010D limit is given. If that exceeds, then only these all will get attracted. Simply, if maturity amount itself is not taxable, means if the maturity amount itself is not taxable because of deduction, exemption under 1010D, this provision A will not get attracted. Means what? Maturity amount exceeds limit given under 1010D. Okay, and the difference exceeds 1 lakh. Then TDS is deductible. 194B, casual incomes. Any person making payment to any other person, any other casual income, 30%, aggregate amount not exceeding 10,000 in a financial year to that person, then TDS obligation not required. 194BB, horse races income. Any person, same concept again. 194G, commission on sale of lottery tickets. Not lottery winning, commission on sale of lottery tickets. Any person with effect from 110/24, 2%, before 5%, 15,000 for financial year is exempted amount. 194K, income from UTA or mutual fund units. Any mutual fund or unit trust of India is paying to any resident. While paying the payment 10%, if that value is not exceeding 5,000 for financial year, no TDS required. So you just need to spend time to remember these amounts. That's it. Next, 194 LA, compensation on compulsory acquisition of immovable property. Whenever immovable property is acquired by government on a compulsory acquisition, any person making payment to a resident person, 10% TDS on that amount. But if it does not exceed 2,50,000, means the compensation does not exceed 2,50,000, TDS need not be deducted. No TDS on compensation for compulsory acquisition of agricultural land. So this is important. This is important. Next. 194P, income of specified senior citizen. Sir, senior citizen, super senior citizen, and a very senior citizen, we saw, no, sir? No. Whenever any scheduled bank is making payment to specified senior citizen, what do you mean by specified senior citizen? He should be individual, he should be resident, age is more than or equal to 75 years, having pension income only, no other income except interest from the specified bank. So other than that pension income, like interest, no other incomes are there. So you should be individual, you should be a resident, age more than or equal to 75 years. You are having only pension income that is deposited in a bank. You are only having that interest income on that pension deposit. That's it. Then TDS will be deducted at what rate? Rates in force. Rates in force means also on that particular pension income, TDS will be deducted at the rates in force. If you are applying for 115 BAC, one thing. If you are not applying for 115 BAC, super senior citizen, you will be having 3 rates only. Okay, up to 5 lakh 0. After that, directly 30%, like that it will apply. Next, 194Q, purchase of goods. Purchase of goods. Sir, purchase of goods also has a TDS. Yes. When, see, there is a buyer making the payment to a seller being a resident. Then on the consideration amount, sale value, 0.1% TDS you need to deduct. Okay. So up to what extent? If that particular payment is not exceeding 50,000 per year, then not required. Okay. That means if this buyer is making payment to the seller, not exceeding 50 lakh in a year, means the first time I made 20, next time I made 25. Okay, now 45 is there, not required. Next time if you are doing in excess of 50 lakh, whatever you made, TDS has to be deducted. Buyer responsible only if turnover exceeds rupees 10 crore in the preceding financial year. Buyer responsible only if the turnover of that particular buyer exceeds 10 crore in the preceding financial year. TDS only on the amount in excess of 50 lakh. If there is a goods return, buyer purchased the goods, returned, adjusted amount will be there, na? On that adjusted amount only TDS will be deducted. If the buyer, if the seller produced his PAN number to the buyer, then this deduction will be made. If the PAN is not furnished, penalty 5% rate TDS will be deducted. Next, 194 IA, purchase of immovable property other than rural agricultural land. This is purchase of goods. This is purchase of immovable property. Buyer is purchasing from seller. So who is paying buyer? He has to deduct TDS and pay. So 1% of actual sale consideration or stamp duty value, whichever is higher. So 1% of actual sale consideration or 1% of stamp duty value, whichever is higher. Okay. If consideration plus stamp duty value, if consideration plus stamp duty value is less than 50 lakh per property, then no deduction required. Okay. So if the stamp duty value, all the things is less than 50 lakh per property, simply to tell if the amount is less than 50 lakh per property, then this section will not get attracted. So buyer has to deduct when he is paying to a resident seller at the rate of 1% of the actual sale consideration or stamp duty value, whichever is higher. And if the consideration or the SDV is less than 50 lakh per property, then on that property purchase, no TDS will attract. Okay. Consideration includes all charges, maintenance. Okay, maintenance, it includes all charges, maintenance, parking, club membership, everything should be taken as a consideration. If there are more than one buyer or seller for any immovable property, means so 2-3 joint sellers are selling and one buyer is buying, or joint buyers are buying from one seller, or combination of they are buying, then consideration shall be aggregate payment. So 3 buyers are there who is buying jointly from a seller. Total payment we should see whether it is not less than 50 lakh. Property wise you should see, not buyer and seller wise. Understood? So for that property, if they are paying more than 50, it is equal to or more than 50 lakh, then TDS obligation will get attracted on purchase of immovable property other than rural agricultural land. Okay. Next, 194R, the last section. 194R, very important expected question for Jan 26. Benefits or perquisites in respect of it is not business or profession. Okay, it is not business or profession. Simply to tell, these benefits B slash P, if I write now, this B slash P is a business or profession. After that, other places also I have written B slash P. Those means benefits or perquisites. Here B slash P is a business or profession. But later in the section, whenever I write B slash P, it's benefits or perquisites. That's what I wanted to tell. So payer, any person, same exception for individual. Yeah, individual ke same exception. See, I am a employer. In my office, there are so many employees working for my classes. Okay, so mine is a business. Classes is a business one, not a profession one. CA practice is profession, but CA classes is business. So I am a business person. Okay, and payee is any resident person. Payee is any resident person. I am paying to a person. TDS 10% deduction. When exemption, if it is not exceeding 20,000 per year. What I am providing them, benefits or perquisites I am giving. On that benefits or perquisites also, I should collect the tax. Okay, I should deduct the tax and I should give them. See, nature of benefits covered. Incentives to distributors or perquisites or retailers, etc. Means I said, I gave a sales target to them. If you make this much sale, I will pay you some benefit to you. I will give you a color TV, something like that, or I will give you a smart TV, or I will buy you a MacBook. Like that, if I give anything to distributors, etc., incentives, that value you have to deduct TDS and you have to pay. Next, free samples you are giving, free tickets you are giving. Okay, trip sponsoring, free tickets means flight tickets, 50,000 rupees or 1 lakh rupees, free, you need not do. So I am only giving you the perquisite. So many companies will give to their customer, to their dealers, like that. Following are not benefits or perquisites. Sales discount, cash discount, rebates, these are not coming under perquisites or benefit. Buy 2 get 2 free type or buy 2 get 3, like that they will give na? No, that will not get attracted. Banks are waiving the loan. It is as per banking policy, not a benefit or a perquisite. Issue of bonus shares, reimbursement of expenses to agent. Okay. Next, product given for promotion to a social media influencer. Very, very popular. Na? For social media influencers, we will give the product free. We will ask them promote this product. So cell phones, all these things very popular. Okay. So for them, we are giving, this is promotional expense. It will not come under benefits or perquisites given to the social media influencer. Nature of expenses with respect to dealer and business conference. Listen, expenses. I am an employer. I am incurring expenses for travel, stay, okay, food, etc. Incurred by company in relation to the dealer or business conference is not a benefit or a perquisite. Means our dealers and other things are going to Singapore. Okay, 1 day conference is there. For that, I am putting all the expense. That's my business expense. That is not a benefit to them. But business conference is on 1st January. On 31st December itself, you booked a flight. On 1st December itself, you are providing them hotel stay, etc. 2nd January, you are giving them a leisure trip chance. That 31st December and 2nd January, those I will treat it as a benefit or perk. Exclusively for the conference when you are there, that day expenses, those are not benefits or perquisites. However, following are benefits. Expenses on leisure trip. Expenses on leisure trip. Overstay expenses, 1 day after or 1 day before the conference. Dealer family member expenses, those are all perquisites. If perks are given in kind, that perk is purchased by the person from the market or not, that purchase price will be the perquisite value. On that, TDS is deducted at the rate of 20. If the purchase price is not exceeding 20,000 per year, TDS is not required. If it is manufactured by that same person, price charged to customers. Any other case, fair market value into 10% you need to apply. Okay, these are all the various provisions on TDS that you need to remember. Okay, if you can follow this properly, this document I am sharing on my Telegram group, okay, you can have a look over this. This is a rough summary of entire TDS chapter. If you are feeling TDS as a humongously big chapter, this you read, Pakka 5 marks will come, but must and should 1 hour lecture. As I promised, 1 hour before we are completing it. And 1 hour do the problems in the question bank or something like that. That's it, you're done. 5 marks is yours. Okay. So thank you very much. All the very best. Give your best in exam.